You know, you them kind of reggae again at all. Coming from the youth them, no, just 3 little tap on a computer key and there's a rhythm that. Hands, oh gosh man, I tell you man, saxophone, trombone, trumpet, them things they know in the music again. Music get dim. Get dim. Yes. I the weirdest thing, the computer can play anything where you want it play, you know. The computer can play anything where you want it play. It's just that everyone who have a computer now feels him is a musician. Because he can make a rhythm with just tap him finger and make a rhythm. No construction, no. You tell you about bridge, no, I wonder what that you talk about in a music. You say, go to the bridge. You say, which bridge are you talk about? Fern Gully Bridge is not a bridge. Bagwag Bridge is not a bridge neither. But we saw we are going still. The music is spreading more and more all over the world, over the globe. And them latch on, the people them latch on pan. Those were the days music. Terrible thing for go latch on pan, those were the days music. And you let it go. Yeah man, Jamaica let it go, make it gone. Abroad. So you keep a show down here, so you can't put certain artists on the show, you have to put the finger tapping keyboard music on the show with some DJ. May I tell you, it's terrible. We have to live with it. We have to live with it though, believe you me, we have to live with it. Just a different way now. Not even the best way, it's just a different way. Because we're not going to say it's a better way, it's a different way. You know, it's a different way to make music. And where we radical music, no, the man them say a foolishness. Can you imagine me a play all that in a where you just hear a while ago in a session? The patron, they would have called police and tell them to lock so you can just imagine the beats of that session do other play. I mean, you can play them a certain session still, you know. Yeah, you can play them a certain session, but like the mass session where you have people ready to jump up in the air like them are idiot and jump off a box. You can imagine you stand up and play all them tune there where we just play in our session. Just me man, the patron them would have gang up and you go call police, tell them to lock off the sound because I play foolishness. Yeah man, me I play a session already, you know. I'm gonna put on Dennis Brown and some you come ask me if me can play some reggae. I be ask me where you call this when I play. Him say, you don't know what me I talk about, man. I DJ music him I talk about, you know, but and some music where me not go play. Me definitely not go play it. You know see it. But I find that the youth them now don't really want to hear nothing where them never know where them parents did know. I only for youth now, them don't want to listen to what them parents did listen to. It's the weirdest thing because when me a youth I go to school, me I listen to where my parents them did listen to, and my mother got find go buy a record for me where she knows me love. Them days we are soul boy. I go married to and all them really. Stylistics, Manhattans, you know what I mean, Delphonics. And she bring them come make we hear them, and then we did have the reggae rocksteady era there, but she didn't listen to when me didn't listen to that she could have got foreign go buy music for me. And me didn't listen to what she didn't listen to when she had picked me. That me could have known certain artists. Now the weirdest thing is that me I listen to what the youth them I listen to. I'm still I listen to what my mother did I listen to. I'm still I listen to what me love. When my mother used to buy for me, I still I love them. But guess what? My mother listen to when my music or when me love, and when I pick me, and me listen to when my mother the love, and me I listen to what the youth them love. Nobody else why the youth them nah listen to nothing more than what them want here. In at this time, yeah. Them don't want to hear nothing else. Them just want to hear now. I just know with them, if them are 20, them don't want to hear nothing over 10-year-old, 10 years. They don't want to hear nothing over 10 years. And now them want to hear now, like we are going now. Narrow, very narrow. Very narrow. Not to mention other genre of music. Not worse now. The genre of music where them want to hear is when now. That's when they can come up on YouTube and see Rihanna, Beyonce, Britney Spears, and all of them American artists, the rapper them. Some of the rapper them don't even know them, but me I listen to them. And that them want to hear. Them don't want to hear nothing when them never born. Can you imagine that? And music so vast and diverse. Music is so vast and diverse, man. Conscious is the mind that appreciates all music. Music exalts your state of mind. At least some music exalts your state of mind. I mean, say, me give thanks for my openness towards music. That me can play certain music now and make young people hear and love it, and me can play the music that me love listen to. And when me do a certain session, we play the music that my mother did love. Yes. It's a serious thing. So we'll go back to some production from the man called Jack Ruby. This is, for those of you who don't know, but Bunny Rugg used to sing by himself one time, you know. The late great Bunny Rugg used to lead Third World. Yes, him did down here to make music cutting edge. You know, we hear the advertisement of the Freddie Jackson show. Sunday, we're going to play up there. The entire year we play up there, so you know, say, I don't know entire year. At least some people think. When time we go to them show, there are different kind of music. You know, it's a reggae radio station. You can't play certain music from a reggae radio station. But when we go to them show, there we free up ourselves and play where we love. And what we know to the people them love, especially those people who love Freddie Jackson. You understand? Big artists. Pity I can't play Freddie Jackson for her. And you know Tracy know Freddie Jackson. Tracy know Freddie Jackson, don't it? You don't know Freddie Jackson? It's what I mean. And Tracy, all of man, she don't know Freddie Jackson. Anyway, back to Jack Ruby. Tyrone Taylor. Everybody know Tyrone Taylor when Cottage in Negri. Aye, by the way, you know something, I'm not talking about the Freddie Jackson show. Or me never hear them take off Dennis Brown and Greg Isaacs off a show yet because them involved with coke. Me don't know. Me never hear nobody say why we could exalt Greg Isaacs off a show because he's a cokehead. Or Dennis Brown. I never hear that they not go on with them people that are alive. So I don't know, it's a new thing now. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. People have their own little conservative views and ideas. You understand? Say, alright, so the police them say them find George Nooks with coke. And then you hear them say, George Nooks is no longer on the show, the Freddie Jackson show there, at upper the sports complex there. I'm going out in my head and I try to remember if there was any time when any show I keep, and them say them know, everybody know, we don't have to hide that, everybody knows the great guys that used to take coke, and Dennis Brown. And we can't call others too, but Dennis Brown and Greg Isaac is two artists where Jamaican people love them, hardcore. But me never hear nobody say, them a take off Gregory off on a show because he is a coke man. Or a true police catch him with it. So if police catch you with the coke is a different thing from if them know say you use coke. Me don't know. I don't know that, bro. Because you have man who them catch with gun, and I hear nobody tell them say them not pick up and show. Because them police find a man with gun. So them not alone pick up and no show. Because them find him with gun. So I don't know if it's my mind or my brain, because I not condone nothing, but me just say what that have to do with the show, or I'm not going to sing good enough. I don't know. What you think? You think them, if them find out say a man take court, them should take him out of a show. Like the next artist we are going to play now, out of Jack Ruby's stable, so now. Cottage in the grill. In a cottage in the grill, him talk about coke in a grill, you know. And even Dennis Brown have a tune, you know. Dennis Brown have a tune where I say, you are like cocaine to me. Yes. Dennis Brown have a tune where he mention say, the girl is like cocaine to him. And everybody play that tune upon every radio station. That tune is not a band tune. Tracy, you know that tune they get banned? No. I'm going to play it before the night done and see if what them call them? The broadcasting commissioner will call me and tell me not to play it. Because me never hear nobody tell you, me never come in and see no sign it to say, don't play that tune by Dennis Brown where I'm singing about your woman is like cocaine to him. Or cottage in the grill. Where Tyrone Taylor about cocaine. Or even night nurse. Even night nurse. We get clouded in a whole heap of argument. Night nurse. Only one you can quit this at first. Anyway, Tyrone Taylor, one of them artists where did them amongst Jack Ruby. The ancestral section was an integral part of Jack Ruby production them. If you listen to all the Burning Spear tune them, and Burning Spear is one of the only artists when we know over the years tour continually with the ant section. As an artist, not as a band, because most of the band them used to, you have, band with tour with ant section. Like 809 used to tour with them ant section. Ras Bass, what them call themselves again? What them call them? The ant section, Dean Fraser, Nambo, and Chico was the ant section for 809. But when you listen to Jack Ruby production them, believe you me, I'm not left out there on them at all. When I listen to them tune, you never hear them from no other radio station. You understand? Because even though we there talk about Jack Ruby and I make a big thing over it, you that did hope say people that really, it's not like you jump on a bandwagon, but you say, yeah, true, Jack Ruby, you need to get in line with this celebration, yeah. Because if me have a radio station, believe you me, I'm here another radio station and promote Jack Ruby. Muda get on board. I tell you, Muda get on board, Rasta. Me not take pride and this and that make me feel like say, oh, for Irish beat, me not gonna do that too. No, sir. In the interest and benefit of the music and for the people them who produce and push the music out there, me would have to get on board. Until it's nice, we see some 2 more or 3 more radio station a broadcast. We are going down there live and for them radio station too. But I guess that is not good business practice. I can't ever say, yeah, it's not good business practice. When the idiot people them are talking in a parliament, everybody have cut their microphone. Get a piece of the lie and the wickedness what them a do and what them a say. You understand? So why them shouldn't really have their microphone long there? Even have a little news, them really, it's not nice. What I say at a radio station, what I say? What are you saying? Believe you me, I remember I celebrate Marcus Garvey birthday every year. And now I remember start this year, there have been inaugural Life Achievement Award, Jimmy Cliff. And me at Burning Spear now. I hope Cabo listen to me, I say, Cabo, I know you listen and all, you producer them, who are producer them. Tracy, you Cabo producer too?
No.
Shamara?
Yes.
And the other little one will come here. What's your name again?
Sandre.
The new one, eh?
Sandre.
What's your name?
Sandre.
Sandre?
Sandre.
Alright. Whatsoever Dre is your name, but it is nice if the recognition of Burning Spear, especially like how Burning Spear come from this parish where IRFM come from, where Jack Ruby, they might promote Jack Ruby. It is nice if you consider the views expressed here is the views of Mutabaruka. And Mutabaruka is talking to the people who is responsible for the Life Achievement Award to the artists them. As we can see, Jimmy Cliff got it this year. So Mutabaruka is talking to IRFM and saying that he would hope that Burning Spear is considered next year for a Life Achievement Award. Not only because he was really responsible for Jamaica people to remember Marcus Garvey through music, and promote Marcus Garvey through music, but also because IRFM and Burning Spear is in the same parish. And IRFM promote Marcus Garvey every year. Every year Marcus Garvey is promoted. So I just got me a plea to the program director for, and I hope not because I say it now, them going to do it. I said, trouble. If we go do it now, you're going to hear that trouble, Mutabaruka say. Augustus Pablo is the next one of them artists. Big Melodica. Them think they're doing a reggae music again. I don't think they're doing the music again, you know. Why you have to just, I'm glad somebody did it when them things are going on in the Rasta, because believe you me, can you imagine a xylophone in the music again? Xylophone. You know, I mean xylophone, if you ask most youth what is a xylophone, them don't know what is a xylophone. A Melodica, them don't know, all mouth organ. Remember Roy Richard used to blow the mouth organ in his nose. Believe you me, what a thing. What a thing. Augustus Pablo. We're going to start over a tune here because Augustus Pablo is one of them classical musicians. You know, only by them musicians, they did have classical background, yes. And them turned to Jamaican music and manifest that background in the music, in them own way and own style. You know, information is very important to inspiration, you know. If you don't have no information, you know, most of your inspiration is like superstition. But you have musicians who it was inspired because they were given to information, and that information was to listen to other kind of music. And when I say other kind of music, I don't mean a reggae artist I listen to a reggae artist. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they have a background of music. So them can step into any shoe, any style, any fashion. That's why a man like who want you love Sly? Who want you love Sly Dunbar, you know? You say are you hurt there today? Who want big up Sly? Who want play the tune for Sly? Meanwhile they are talk about it, but a man like Sly listen to so much music and play in so much genre of music. Me take up some CD and say Sly and Robin name on it. That me I say, but wait, Sly and Robin name on the album here, Rasta, and it have nothing to do with reggae, nothing at all. But the man them was informed. Them have information, musical information that inspire them. And it's enough time Sly and Robbie change the form of the music, the beat of the music, change it. And them inspired by just listening and playing and just developing a style for themselves. And them still there. And them can play any kind of music there. You have some dancehall music which Sly them a produce. straight up dancehall music. And you have real reggae, hardcore reggae music, and then you have some other music. Me see some Chinese album, and me look, me see Sly and Rabbit upon the Chinese album. I say, weird. Fella Ransom Kuti. Calling you African people, this is an African chord. I mean, like Sly and Rabbit play the music there. Why you love Sly? Happy birthday to Sly Brethren. I tell you, sometimes I do the program and I know say at least one somebody out there listen, and that is Sly. We play the song of Sly. Go to Astro, go play some music. I want dub festival. I mean like dub festival, 4 days. Them I play dub, pure dub. I mean I say, you can't have that like that in Jamaica. You could have never have something like that in Jamaica, you know. It's weird, you know. When I say dub, you know, I talk about like them kind of music, you know. I talk about like, you know, Chronics and Kabaka Pyramid and them way there. I know that we talk about them kind of music here. And them kind of music here for like 3-4 days. With different sound man come and just play. Them don't want to play no Bob Marley. No Bob Marley. That them thing that was dub. That genre of music where nobody speak of, nobody talk about that part. Or the dub music influence a whole heap of other music, like techno music, like them call it jungle music. A dub music influence them kind of music there.
Jack Ruby migrated in the early stages of his life to Kingston, where his experience in Greenwich Farm led him to the top of a pool of local music producers. While in Kingston, Jack Ruby acquired an enviable awareness in social consciousness. His street credit grew, and throughout his years in what may be referred to as street or gully college, Jack Ruby graduated with distinction. He was a respected leader wherever he lived. Ruby embodied magnetism and charisma of noticeable in world leaders. Jack changed lives, prepared people for high offices in entertainment, and even changed the name of the street he lived on. James Avenue in Ocho Rios was once known as Music Avenue all over the world. The music fraternity had a special love for Blackbeard Lawrence Jack Ruby Lindo because he had a special love for the music. In the late 1960s, Jack Ruby left Kingston for Ocho Rios. In his 1959 Chevy Impala, Ruby transported boxes full of everything, including his amplifier. Then came the birth of Jack Ruby High Power Sound System with the motto, Boss of the North Coast. Ruby quickly lived up to his motto by becoming the boss of the North Coast. This attracted the talent of King Stitch as resident DJ, and with the compilement of boxes increasing from 10 to 15 or double 18s, a couple of 12s, and a sea of tweeters topped by 2 steel horns, the high power system became powerful enough to encompass not only the North Coast but also the South, East, and West. Jack Ruby's high power became the sought-after sound system in dancehall, with the capacity to play on big lawns, football fields, and spacious countrysides. Jack Ruby, through direct insight on the road and in the dancehall, began to dominate and rule party scenes. With his high-power sound and growing entertainment experience, he established the Jack Ruby Music, Sports and Cultural Center in Ocho Rios. Jack Ruby Music, Sports and Cultural Center became the center of entertainment and the venue of choice for North Central Jamaica. The high-power sound system began to string up for Ocho Rios locals every Wednesday night. This opened the door for many DJs to get a real chance to express themselves. The weekend shows were then dominated by Yellow Man, Hugh Brown, Father Demos, Josie Wales, and Brigadier Jerry, later to be joined by DJs like President Brown, Nigga Mikey, Tiger, Junior Demos, and singers such as Coco T, Courtney Melody, and Singing Melody. Militancy was always part of Jack Ruby. His high-power sound was run with militancy and discipline. Ruby lived his life as a militant and was an advocate for black revolution and clean and well-produced reggae music. Jack Ruby was known to walk out of production meetings with anyone who would seek to endorse unprofessionalism. Ruby would label such producers as reducers, corrupting the youth. Jack Ruby guided many artists to begin their recording careers. He aided many musicians to join touring bands and was generally at the hub of the music industry. Jack Ruby Music Avenue entertained legends from all walks of life, including Jackie Mitu, who spent his last few weeks of a vacation from Canada in the company of Jack and his associates, along with Boy George and Rolling Stones' Keith Richards. Jack Ruby's success in recording and his part in the musical revolution with Bob Marley, Scully, and fellow Southman producer King Jammys resulted in Jack braving his transition and gaining early success with Burning Spear's Marcus Garvey album. The success of Burning Spear and Jack Ruby was such that any producer would dream to have. A signing by Island Records propelled the Jack Ruby produced Marcus Garvey internationally. Marcus Garvey then became one of the most pirated reggae albums ever, as at that time the reggae industry struggled with copyright issues crossing over to world music status, and notable copyright agencies were just beginning to form. The continuous evolution of Jamaican music skyrocketed when Jack Ruby joined forces with Burning Spear, creating a turning point moment with the album Marcus Garvey. And now, to end the Jamaican roots and culture, here is our famous black quotation. He who fears is literally delivered to destruction. The words of Howard Truman. He who fears will literally be delivered to destruction. So we end this week's edition of Jamaican Roots and Culture. For Jamaican Roots and Culture, I'm Pat Clark.
I enjoy the feature them, I tell you that up front. I enjoy them totally, man. Believe you me, give thanks. Okay, we want to change up the vibe a little here now. We want to talk to Umir Khan. You might not know, but there is a Muslim community here in Jamaica. I'm not talking about the one on South Camp Road. I'm talking about the one in Clarendon, Woolaba to be exact. And they are having them 5th annual conference, Muslim Jamaat, Jamaica. And the line we have Umir Khan, make him can pronounce and explain. We want to talk to him because also this conference extended itself also into England this year at the end of July. So we want to talk to Umir. Well, not only Umir, we're talking to Haji Maharaj, member of the community, and also of Justice of the Peace. I don't know if you ever pass and see that big mosque. Most people don't know what is a mosque in Jamaica, but a mosque is where the Muslims go and have fellowship and worship in. Christians go to church, understand? And what them call them, Jews go to tabernacle or temple. Well, Muslims go to mosque. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, this
Good
is,
night.
Okay, okay, give thanks. I get thrown one time. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, is Miss Haji Maharaj is the lady that came to my house?
Yes, that's her.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So tell me something now. Believe you me. So are you who want to talk to more than Khan?
Why me?
Because you're a woman and people hardly hear Muslim women speak. Because there's a lot of things that is said about Muslim women that we should have really listened to a Muslim woman and see if most of what we hear is true. Because most of what we hear is very negative as it relates to how men, how Muslim men treat. Well, we hear that about Rasta too, and we hear that about black man in general. We hear about black man. So it's not like a thing we don't with Muslims, but we want to really get some clarification about it. But we could talk first about the conference that is going to be held this Saturday in Old Harbor. Yeah, explain to the people. Well, maybe could I explain to the people in that?
Yes.
And then you can go to sleep after that.
Okay.
Can.
Yes, so the conference is happening this Saturday, May 13th. It's at 11 o'clock. We do this conference every year, but because we see that there is a need for people to, remove a lot of those misunderstandings, so this year, we're opening this conference for the public to come see with their eyes and experience what the Muslim community is all about. And the conference is also on Sunday, and you brought up the issue about women looked at in a negative way in Islam. So on Sunday morning, there's actually a ladies' session, and the ladies are going to run that program inside the mosque, and it's open to all Jamaican women to come ask questions.
Really, Sunday?
Yeah, that's Sunday morning at 11 o'clock.
Okay. I should be there at that one.
Well, you're welcome on both days.
All right. I definitely going to come on Saturday, though. I'm going to come on Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The only place I've ever been into a mosque is in Morocco. I went into a mosque in Morocco, but I've never really actually... Well, I've been to a mosque too in Kingston. There's a mosque in Kingston Road, near Reddy's Road. I don't know if you know that place.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. So tell me something now. Believe you me, because it's the first I hear about this. This I don't want to call it denomination of Muslims. It's the first I hear about them, and to be honest with you, I never even know that this group is in Jamaica. So how long you been here?
Well, the first convert within our community in Jamaica was in 1994. And since then, we've had a few more members. But in 2011 is when the community started growing more here. That's when we had our mosque in Old Harbor built. So that was kind of officially when the community was organized here. And some of our missionaries, we have one missionary in Clarkstown, and recently we had a Jamaican born and raised missionary who went to Ghana, West Africa, and he just came back last year. So we've been around officially from 2011. So we're generally still a very new community in Jamaica, and we're just trying to let Jamaicans know that, Islam has nothing to do with terrorism. Yeah, but Muslims
was here before, though. Before your group came here, the Muslims was here. Yes. So,
Muslims go back to the history in Jamaica when people came in the early days to Jamaica. There were many Muslims who had migrated here, and Ms. Miraj could probably touch on that more.
Yeah, well, I know that the Maroons, a lot of the language that the Maroons use is Arabic.
Right.
Because they use Salam Alaikum too. The Maroons use Salam Alaikum.
Right.
And
a lot of them were. A lot of them were from West Africa.
Yeah.
And where Ahmadiyya, our movement, Ahmadiyya is very, very large.
Yeah.
And don't forget that when the Spaniards came here before the British, lots of Muslims came too.
Yes.
Right? And then the indented laborers that came from Asia.
India, yes.
From a large percentage of them were Muslims.
Yes,
the others were Hindus.
Yes.
And that is where I personally came from. I'm from a family where some of my relatives were Muslims, some were Hindus, and some were Christians, because my mother's side is of African descent.
Yes.
Looking at me, it's hard to tell, but my mother is an African woman.
No, well, I look at you, I know, so you have African in you. From my I never ever try to figure it out. I just know so well this woman have African in her, even though she look Indian, but she have African in her.
Right. So yes, it's very much a part of our culture here in Jamaica. It might be small, but it is definitely here.
All right. So tell me something. What is the difference between this group and say the group like at South Camp Road? What's the difference?
All right. The main difference is that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the founder of Islam, he had prophesied that a time would come that when Muslims go through a phase of, becoming misguided, just as the Jews went through that phase. So Jesus came for them as a Messiah. So he said a Messiah would also come amongst the Muslims. Now the difference between our community in Islam and the other communities, the interpretation is different. The other Muslims, they believe the second coming of Messiah to literally mean that Jesus of Nazareth is physically going to descend, is going to come back to the world. We believe that those prophecies were not meant to be taken literally.
Okay.
We believe that someone like the way Jesus came to guide his people, in the same way, a Messiah would come amongst the Muslims to guide the Muslims. Now in 1835, a person in India named Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, he claimed that he was the second coming of the Messiah. And he preached to the Muslims that in this era, there is no need to fight with weapons to defend your religion. And he said that the weapon of this era, in this age, is the pen. Is through dialogue, education, that Islam will be able to spread its message the way it's meant to. It's not through warfare and violence and intimidation. So that was his message. So that's the main difference. So we take him to be the Messiah, and the other Muslims are waiting, similar to how Christians are also waiting for Jesus to literally come back.
Okay, all right. I don't know if you ever heard about the Bafal. You have ever heard about the Bafal? They mostly find themselves in Senegal. It's a group of brethren and sisters who recognize a brethren by the name of Sheikh Amadou Bamba. I don't know if you ever heard of it. They are Muslims, but they are very unorthodox. Something like what you are saying, but they view Sheikh Amadou Bamba and what they do, strangely enough, them locks and don't wear shoes. The whole heap of them don't wear shoes and them locks. If you see them, you think them is Rasta. You can Google them, the Bafals them. But why I mention them is because they have a next perspective of Islam that is not keeping in line with what we call the Orthodox Islam. Similar to your idea about Christ coming forward, not necessarily the same individual, but through the person of a next person. Yeah, and I know that a lot of Rastas see that too, that Christ is not the same man that going to come back, but him going to come through the person, and he have come through the person of Haile Selassie. So why I'm saying this is that a lot of what we hear about Muslims and Islam, I find that it's really Arab culture that is intertwined in Islam that decide the outcome of Islam. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to get at. In other words, for instance, woman must drive car and all this.
Yeah, it's a culture, and then they use that negative culture to define the religion. But that's not the religion.
Yes. So what
Islam.
What I think Islam needs, well, not Islam, I can't tell you what to do, but is to make the difference between what is Arab culture and what is Islam in its essence, because people have this notion, for instance, 72 version, they're not like that in the Quran. This is what the Arabs brought up as part of it, and because so much of Islam is intertwined with Arabia and Mecca and all these things, a lot of people get the notion that when them hear about these things, it's really Islam them hearing about and not necessarily Arab culture. We have to make that distinction. You don't think so?
So, Brother Muta, the interesting thing is that amongst 1.6 billion Muslims, Arabs are actually a minority in the Muslim world.
Yeah.
There are more non-Arab Muslims. The largest Muslim in the world right now is Indonesia.
Yes.
Pakistan, India.
Yeah.
These countries have more Muslims than the Arab countries themselves.
Yeah, but it's the Arab culture, because a lot of people who become Muslims change them name to Arab names. You see, so it's the Arab culture that is defining Islam. It's not Indonesia, even though Indonesia have the most Muslims them. You know, that is not Pakistan. It's Arab. It's the Arabs them that has taken over the cult, taken over the religion, and has made it their own to the point where, you know, Africans in Africa change them name from African name to Arab name. Who's going to now make that distinction between what is Arab culture? Or you will have something against you if you start to show people that this is Arab culture must be separated from what is the essence of Islam. I don't know if that is needed or necessary.
Well, definitely the Ahmadiyya culture is showing the difference.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, our motto is love for all, hatred for none. And the Ahmadiyya movement, I mean, our prophet, peace be upon him, that state that he would send somebody, as he just said that in Ghulam Ahmed, and he came for the whole world, not just for Arab people, but for everybody of whatever class or climb or whatever you are. So yes, we and the Ahmadiyya movement, which spans over 200 countries in the world, have embraced every nation of people, every race of people. So yes,
like one of the largest communities within our community is actually in West Africa right now. Places like Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone. So yeah, there is that Arab, because I think it was because of the good, examples that were set by those early Arab companions of Prophet Muhammad. There was one companion who was actually a black slave during his time. His name was Bilal, and eventually he received his freedom, and he was one of the earliest converts to Islam. And many people in the Muslim world, they actually named their children after him. Although he was a black man from Ethiopia, they named a lot of white Arabs, brown Pakistanis, Chinese Muslims, they named their child after a black man because of his righteous deeds and the good example that he set. And you know what? And Prophet Muhammad's last sermon is very interesting. And I would love that my Jamaican brothers and sisters, try to do some research and find, look into what his message was. In his last sermon, he actually said that keep in mind that no Arab has any superiority over a non-Arab, nor does any white have any superiority over a black, nor any black over a white. And he made it very clear in his message that, skin tone and color it's not what God looks at. And he said that God looks at the purity of your heart and the purity of your actions that judge that judges people, right?
All right. We can ask you a question. What you are saying now, is it coming from the prophet that you speak about, or is it coming from the Quran itself? Because it's coming from the Quran, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And so just so people know, I'm actually talking from the Quran. There's a verse in the Quran, and it says that God has created tribes and other groups of people for beautification and identity. And then later on in the verse it says, but the most honorable among you is he who is the most righteous. So yes, there's different cultures and races, and God made the world beautiful. But he said the thing that he judges people according to is not their skin tone or their culture. It's according to the righteousness that they have in their hearts.
So how you deal with that now on a physical level? Because what happens now is that you have one country that is Muslims, and you say you're going to accept everybody. So if you have a country now that is both Muslims and Christians, how you rectify that situation politically? Because I know in Gambia, the former president, Jammeh, he was a Muslim, but a lot of the population was Christians. But he made the state a Muslim state without discrimination for the Christians. You never have Christians and Muslims fighting under Jammeh, even though he was a Muslim. So what I'm saying now is that in a country where you have Muslims and Christians, how you rectify that? If a Christian is the head of the country, how we work that out?
We live in harmony. We live in harmony with everybody.
Okay.
We see everybody.
But sometimes the laws that govern a Christian state sometimes is opposing Islam.
Yes. So let me explain it to you like this.
Yeah.
We're Muslims right now living in Jamaica, which is a Christian country.
Yeah.
Now, according to our holy book, the Holy Quran, the Quran says that do not create disorder in your countries.
Yeah.
It says that whoever is in authority, it is the responsibility of a Muslim to follow the laws of the land. So if I'm a Muslim Jamaican living in Jamaica, it is my responsibility, according to my faith, to not only give my obedience to the authority.
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he actually said that loyalty to the country that you live in is part of faith. So Islam is actually teaching Muslims that even if you are living in a non-Muslim country, it is your responsibility as a citizen of that country to obey the laws of the land and create unity and love and no hatred, right? Love for all.
But there's sometimes when the law of the land conflict with Islam. For instance, the Sharia law when they ball out in France, they mustn't wear that thing go to school on them head. What do you call the thing that you wear on your head again?
The hijab.
The hijab, yeah, the ladies them. That is true, and the law is coming out and saying you could have deal when they are in our country. That is what the French was saying, that when they are in our country, must abide by the law of that country. We don't want them to wear that thing on them head. How you come to that grips with that?
So the answer that the Quran gives in a situation like that is that if you are having difficulty in a certain land in practicing your faith, and we're not allowed to rebel against the government. We're not allowed to cause disorder.
So you leave then. You leave. That is it.
Right. That's what the Quran says, is that you immigrate. And then the Quran says if you immigrate for the sake of your faith, God will open ways of, success and blessings.
Okay. So that suggestion would that a lot of those people in France who born there and take unto themselves that faith should leave. Because I don't know where them going to go. Them is French.
Well, I think the realistic way in many of these situations is that if not everybody can move away, right? They don't have, not everyone has that luxury.
Yeah, that's the point.
I think what the Muslim communities around the world do in situations like that is that there's a proper democratic way to try to win that process, right? And it's unfortunate that because of the bad examples of a few individuals who label themselves as Muslims, that's one of the reasons why some of these laws are coming into place, is because it's that negative image that's coming out to the non-Muslims, and they've come to a point where they're like, all right, maybe all of these people are like this, right? And I think through dialogue, and that's the way our community does in many parts of the world, is that you write letters to politicians, you open your doors, you welcome people to the mosque. You educate the public and especially the authorities. Like even here at our mosque in Old Harbor, we had many people from the police department, schools, professors, students come, and we welcome that because that helps educate people. So people understand that our community is peaceful. There's no way politicians would ever make laws that would make our lives difficult, right?
Yeah, all right. Just a minute. I'm going to come forward to you. I'm going to tell somebody and come forward. Yeah, this is the Cutting Edge on RFM. Yeah, we're talking some Islam tonight. We're talking Islam. Okay, you still there?
Right, I'm here.
Yeah, all right. What was saying before we leave, by the way? So much things are going on inside us. So we're talking about the Arab influence on Islam and how it lends itself to misinterpretation of what Islam is. And you feel you can rectify that? You think doing that, what you're doing in Jamaica so far, you think that it has helped to really make people, especially in the community where the mosque is, you feel that it has done a service to the that people can see, say, this is not what you hear on CNN and NBC and these things?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yeah, we are making an impact. I mean, first of all, as a Jamaican, I would never be a part of any organization that is not going to have a positive contribution to my people. That's the first thing. And knowing me, I'm a nurturer. I'm a caregiver for the whole world. There, I became a mother for my own first child. I became a mother to every living thing. So it sits well with me. Islam sits well with me. Our motto is love for all, hatred for none. Hopefully when you come on Saturday, you'll get an opportunity.
I'm coming. I'm coming down there. Yes.
Right, and you're going to see the love. There are so many social programs that we have going on. We just finished basketball and football tournaments for the young boys. These are at risk, especially the football under 17. These are young boys who, in the depressed areas, who might be doing something other than good deeds. We take them, we train them, and we give them a place to come and have their recreation. We host the CDC, which is the Community Development Committee meetings there. We run through the CDC literacy class. They host all of this. The mosque is like a community center. When you come to Old Harbor, you'll see. The mosque is literally a community center. Where we live, we have no official community center, so we use the mosque for everything.
Okay.
We are right now. We're one of our brothers from Canada is running this course for free, where he's teaching the young people how to fix smartphones. When it's just a community of love. You just love everybody. We try to encourage them to stay in school.
May I say, it's like you throw away the messenger, and through you throw the messenger, you throw the message too. So you're gonna like the message, but which part of the message I come from, you don't like it. So you throw away everything. So you listen to a little sister now where go through meticulously and I show you about China and Africa. One would expect that these people would say, all right, should bring that to our attention, Make we call him, make we see which part she get that information from. Or call she personally and make she give an overview of what she really has say. Because we now faced with China in Jamaica. And we have to know how we are step. We can't use old time thinking to solve new problems as of now. You understand? We can't use them British mentality to solve Chinese problem, because the Chinese don't gone past England. The Chinese don't gone past England, So you can't choose, you go to some university in England and America, go study economics and politics. And now you deal with some people where them a come out a different cultural expression and different history. So you have to recognize the movement in the earth and recognize how them are moving in the earth. And the main place where them are moving is in Africa and the Caribbean, especially in Africa. So if you get some reasoning about Chinese in Africa, and you just say, well, them people they love to talk about Africa, look at how them going to Chinese in Africa. What that have to do with we? It have something to do with we because the same policy where the Chinese used to go in Africa, the same policy them used to go in the other country them. And them have the same intention. Because if you look on the Chinese them in the other African country them, it's road them a build, infrastructure them a build. Them not try to slave the people them physically. But them a manipulate the economy and manipulate the system in such a way where them go have peace side that when you open your eye, it's like the white people, them go Africa. Them go with them Bible and them gun. And the saying is that them teach the African them for prayer and close them eyes. And when the African them open them eyes, we have the Bible and them have we land. So meanwhile, they have pray to God to go to heaven. Them don't take away land. But them Chinese are now going to make you pray to God and take away your land, you know, because them themselves don't believe in a God. A communist country come out where atheism. But there's a different way them doing it that you have to understand the way. You have to understand the way. And these politicians is not taking time to understand the way. So if someone come and open your eye to understand the way, or you just go and like say some little, you know, people just look mischief and it may sound like mischief. That's why I say, listen. Don't just hear, man. Listen, man. Listen with an open mind. Because you realize that really and truly, the same man them will give you that thing. Listen to how them say the art of war. You ever, I mean, for years we have played that tape there. The art of war. Sun Tzu. It's a serious philosophical understanding where them give you for sure you say this is how you fight war. And you have to put the war into what we call now economics. The same way you would have got to go fight a war to an enemy. Them I show you say it's the same way you have to go about doing business. The art of war is not just to fight war with physical gun and bayonet and sword and thing. It's also about how you go about business. And them create that art of war. So if you don't study that art, how you going to know what them doing? They will always have the upper hand on you. Because you don't go study the white man already. And you study the white man and become white. Maybe you need to become Chinese, you know, because we still have to go study their language, you know. We still have to go study Chinese. I'm say it all the while and people believe I joke me I make, you know. You see what nice little ghetto girls them. I walk up and down with China baby in them hand. You think I joke where I make? I say it's a different kind of colonialism. It's not a colonialism we look down upon you, you know. It's a colonialism we look at you. And them people that's not still like black people, we just want things tomorrow. Them want things all 100 years from now. That's why they put that thing on the highway, you know, the highway. I must about 50 years. Government can't touch that. And not only that, no, you know, them all tell you say, you can't build no new road alongside the highway. Now no train service. A whole heap of things them I tell you about it, you know. Whole heap of things I'm tell you about it. So, we just say that because I'm upset. I'm upset that I know a little sister We use a belt out for years about these things, and nobody, at least the people them who can make a difference, was listening. And now them are listening when the ass gone through the gate. The ass gone through the gate already. I just saw. So if you want to take back the land, you have to pay the Chinese them right up front for the highway.
When I look at Africa, many questions come to mind. Many times I ask myself, what would happen if Mwalimu were to rise up and see what is happening? Many times I ask myself, what would happen if Kwame Nkrumah and Patrice Emery Lumumba were to rise up and see what is happening? Because what they would be confronted with is an Africa where the Democratic Republic of Congo is unsettled. There is a war going on there, but it is not on the front pages of our newspapers because we don't even control our newspapers and the media. As I speak to you, the Central African Republic is at war, but we talk of it only mutedly. As I speak to you now, in South Sudan, the youngest nation in Africa, the Nuer have risen against the Dinka. As I speak to you now, Eritrea is unsettled. As I speak to you now, there is an ease in Egypt as there is an ease in Libya. In Niger, it is no better. In Senegal, in the Casamance, is no better. In Somalia, is no better. Africa is at war with herself. This is what they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an Africa which statisticians and romantic economists say is growing, but which in truth is stagnated. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an African which, as Professor Mlama intimated in our presentation here, is an African which is suffering from schizophrenia. He does not know herself. They would be confronted with an African whose young men and women have no interest and low love for their continent. They would be confronted with an Africa where young men and young women are constantly humiliated at the embassies of European countries and at the United States of America as they seek the almighty green card. They would be confronted with an Africa where young men and women from Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Mali, and Mauritania drown in the Mediterranean as they seek to be enslaved in Europe. This time round, Africans are not wailing and kicking as they are being taken away to be enslaved. They are being seen wailing and kicking as they seek to be enslaved in Europe and America. This is the tragedy of Africa. They'll be confronted with an African where people have lost their self-pride. An Africa where Africans are not proud of their things. An Africa where in the hotels of Dar es Salaam or Nairobi, even food has foreign names. When we fry potatoes, we call them French fries, even when they are fried in Dar es Salaam. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with another Africa. An Africa which does not tell her story. An Africa whose story is told by Europe and America, the CNN, Radio Deutsche Welle, Radio France. That is the Africa they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with the young men and women who have no pride in Africa. When they want to enjoy themselves, they sing the praises of football teams from Europe and America. It is Manchester United. It is Arsenal. It is Real Madrid. And Barcelona, not Yanga, not Mufulira Wanderers, not Gor Mahia, not FC Leopards. No. That is the Africa that they would be confronted with. They would be confronted with an Africa which does not enjoy theater and drama. That Africa celebrates Leonardo DiCaprio. It celebrates Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. The Africa does not celebrate Genevieve Naji of Nigeria, or Rita Dominic, or Lou Jacobs of Nigeria. It does not celebrate Bongowood or Nollywood or Riverwood. It celebrates Hollywood. That is the Africa with which they would be confronted. They would be confronted with African women whose greatest source of joy is cheap grade B Mexican soap opera, La Patrona, La Mujer de mi Vida, The Rich Also Cry. Why must we remind ourselves of these realities? Because throughout the ages, the battle has always been the battle of the mind. And if your mind is conquered, then you are going nowhere. And that is why in the ages of enlightenment in Europe, the great René Descartes said, cogito ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. And therefore, if Africans are to begin to make a contribution in their affairs, Africans must begin to think. But the question is, are we thinking? We have universities in their numbers. Tanzania has universities including Dar es Salaam. Nairobi has universities, as indeed Kampala, as indeed South Africa, Johannesburg. We have all these universities. We have engineers. But our roads are not being made by Tanzanian civil engineers. It is the Chinese who are present in this assembly who are making our roads. So we have engineers who cannot even make roads. We have doctors whom we have trained. But when we are sick, particularly if we are of the political class, depending on who colonized you, if you are colonized by the United Kingdom, you rush to London. If you are colonized by the French, you rush to Paris. If you are colonized by the Portuguese, you rush to Lisbon. And if you are colonized by the Spaniards, you rush to Madrid, Spain. And recently, because the Asians are beginning to get their act together, we run to India. And very lately, because the Arabs are also beginning to get their act together, we run to Dubai. Notwithstanding that we have the Kenyatta hostels of this country, the Muhimbilis of Tanzania, the Chris Hani Baragwanaths of South Africa, and the Mama Yemos of Kinshasa in Zaire or the Democratic Republic of Congo, but we have no faith in our doctors. In the area of education, we also don't have faith. Our political class introduced something that they call free education, but it's free indeed, free of knowledge. Because they are so suspicious of those institutions that the typical African politician would not dare take their children to those schools. Their children will be educated in the British system, in the American system, so that when they graduate, they go to the United Kingdom, to the United States. Not that there is anything wrong with those institutions, but the agenda is wrong because our leaders long lost the script and ought to be described for who they are, our misleaders. But we are co-authors of our own misfortune. Whenever we are given an opportunity to elect our leaders, we are given a blank check. And if you permit me a little latitude, and if you give me a blank check, and you allow me to analogize, and you say that I'm giving...
Speaking of Chinese, that was Ikong. Yes, my virgin Ikong. Long time. Believe you me, you're the boat. Long time. Okay, which part we there now? Yeah, yeah, so we there. Yeah, so we there. Believe you me. Here goes. You ready for this? Here goes.
Here, Muta,
Blessed man, cutting edge.
but I'm not sure that every black person listen to our FM, brother. It's not now react to it. And if it take a effect now, it's a pass the mark now, you know.
May I tell you, man.
I just say if we don't have all of the money still, but we now can get back the land.
No, but we're not going to get back the land because them done sign paper for it already. How much more things them sign what we don't know about?
Yeah, that, you know what I say? And plus, what else will come?
Yes. Maybe some Syrian want some land down here.
That no answer. If other race come.
And some Korean. And some Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Nigerian. Maybe Boko Haram want land down here too.
ISIS.
I tell you, man. I tell you.
Anyhow, you know talk about the election of France. And like how Trump in America and say, I bring back the Americans and I drive out certain people.
Yeah.
So, I need to work itself then.
And what?
I need to work itself because them come start it now, you know, start drive out people out of the land. So, it will come a time when we can drive them out of Africa too.
Well, I could see what happen.
Because them start it, you know.
Yeah, I could see what happen, no? We don't know if black people reach them level there. Because black people drive black people out of the land much.
Yeah, but because they might use film policy, but me feel, you know, they can know say we come of age.
Yeah.
You see, mostly in the inner city area where politicians have garrisons and everything, then the malignantness. And then people are mostly controlling it. So when they go in a country, yet you them talk sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't think make we about Muta.
Yeah.
Because 2 months ago, I go down to Chile and down one place named and I go Alberton and go down, man. I mean, some local youth attack and they want to quarrel and like a rivalry amongst them because disagreement and agreement. You understand?
Yeah.
And me as a big man step in and say, no, man, don't fight youth, man. They must say true. We don't learn certain things that too. The youth are more aligned with our culture. And I make a peace amongst them and I say to myself, if this continues so, then it will come a time when you have more advanced.
Yeah.
So, and as Marcus Garvey said, many I think them two things don't come true yet. And hopes, if we don't have hopes in ourselves, that them want, you know, when you don't have hopes.
Yeah.
Because you have some black man, you say black man on the chance and them thing there. And when they say them things, that's the system.
So nothing now will get better. Them say nothing now will get better.
Yeah. Then themselves I tell you, say, them are work with the system automatically and then not even know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, give
and
thanks,
Marcus, yeah, you know I belong, but I big up to my brethren still, you know. And big up yourself too. And big up IFF. And big up Bobo Alti, you know, Denton. And Connie Jordan at Claremont.
Right, okay.
And I big up Cartel and a GP and I work in bus and my people like anybody else, yeah?
Alright, better. Give thanks. It's cutting edge. Yeah.
Yes, Muta.
Man, didn't go ahead, man.
Yeah, man, blessed love. We just want to say happy earth song to my brethren Slide On by the great drummer whose birthday it is.
Yeah,
Wednesday the 10th, yeah, you know? You know what I mean?
We tell him happy birthday.
Yeah, man, who play enough drums for me for my productions, them every little thing, Sugar Miner and enough of that tunes and thing. Yeah. And sister named Marcia whose birthday is also Wednesday the 10th. And really sorry for hear of veteran, you know, the man Bunny from Bunny and Scully who passed away Tuesday at UC Hospital.
You know what I mean?
Never Reynolds, my brethren.
You know the Scully did pass away too?
Yes, Scully passed a couple months ago, and he was buried the same Sunday that Eddie Fitzgerald was buried, you know. Arthur Robinson, you know, popularly known as Bunny, from Bunny and Scully, passed away at University College Hospital last night. My brethren, Never Reynolds, in the music business, phoned and told me yesterday, so condolences.
You know, I like them, you know, about the University College.
Yes. They just say UC, you know, true.
University Hospital. No, them say University Hospital. They don't say UC.
University, so that's where you know a University College Hospital. It came out of originally London University as part of Yes. Yes, for real.
So we are going in England. We are going in England. Tell me we are going in England. No.
Yes, but the knife killings amongst our African youths them within in London in the past 2 weeks, about 12 knife murders. And again, is almost our African youth stabbing and killing our other African youth.
But no, something when it come up in America too, where a guy is run up and stab you and run.
But what is going on here is so-called postcode, or where we call a GA area rivalry and that type of thing. You know, a gang from Tanzania against a gang from Croydon and a whole heap of idiot thing, man. Very, very, very sad. And you find that the youths from the other races, whether them are Indians, Chinese, or the English, you know, Europeans, you don't have that killing. And where them youths them walking with is some long kitchen knife and stabbing and killing other African youths.
So police not they on them scout with it. And them look at the job
but you know it go. Them pick and choose how they move and thing, you know. You know when most things happen, police not around. Police only come after the incident take place. You don't know, it's very sad. In about 2 weeks, we have had about 12 murders. Yes, African youths, stab African youths all over London. Youths them dying 16, 17. I mean, this is internal genocide. And there's even a case last Sunday in Waltham store where a 17-year-old youth was coming from an anti-knife rally in Hackney, Stoke Newington side. And when he was reaching home by Waltham store, some youths them was laying in ambush for him and stab him to death. And him coming from an anti-knife. So these are the things that we as African people, and I tell you something too, some of the elders, some of the elders as parents and so are to blame, because when them supposed to rein in them youths and monitor them youths and deal with things and people telling them things, them tell lies and talk about people telling lies on them youths and picking on them and that type of thing. And you know the police have a way of them disproportionately them stop our youths more than others. But as some people say, it's better them stop them and take away knives where them would find from son. I mean, the good suffer for the bad. You know that type of situation. Because what them using is knives, long kitchen knives and things, and stabbing. And this happens with self-hatred, as you know, Muta. Because a lot of them parents do have no form of African consciousness to deal with African unity, you know. Because a lot of these same parents, if you say to them, like when me and you talk about them for conscious as Africans and for work together and things, them tell us them no want to hear nothing about no Africa and them are no African and all type of things. When if them they had that education and pass it on to their children wouldn't be doing this kind of internal killings within the African race.
Confidence in self gone. Confidence in self not there.
You know, sad. But before I go to I have to talk about the thing that you mentioned with the Chinese, because let me tell you this, Muta, is years, as you say, Cabo has been warning and telling our African people in Jamaica and elsewhere who listen about the Chinese invasion threat and give examples of what them do in Africa and that type of thing. And I remember some years ago, I wrote to Portia Simpson a letter. I'm gonna read it out maybe say next week and so to you I'll find it. And I mentioned various things like Omar Davis did sell off the lucrative heat roast spot to Richard Branson Virgin when that should have been still owned by us as Jamaicans to earn revenue. And I also mentioned that Goat Islands must not be given to the Chinese because the Chinese would be using that as a military base and thing. Up to now, Portia Simpson has not replied. Right?
Hold on. Every time you say that thing, I'm going to have to ask you the same question. You really think that she's not going to reply?
No, But the point of the matter is that I have to do it.
No,
bring up.
No,
I just put it. No, I am not surprised. Muta.
Okay,
but what I'm saying that nonetheless, I have to have it on record. I have to do it to have it on record.
Of course, definitely. Yeah.
You see, because you see the same thing we had Cabo talking about from the 1980s. Our teacher, my physics teacher, Mark Garvey Jr., told me that we have, as Africans, have to be aware of the Chinese threat because of their population, because China cannot support them excess population. So them dumping them excess population in Africa and the Caribbean, that is their long-term goal. This is from the 1980s. Marcus Garvey Jr. Said this to me and others. And it is true. And they start, as you said, the Trojan horse syndrome by coming in under the guise of building this and to establish a presence. Now, them talking about building highway. We have engineers. We have civil engineers in Jamaica who have built and can build highways.
No, but them say we do have the money to do it.
Yeah, but listen.
And I see
them have money to do enough other things. Take for example, you see the Maypen bypass road. I was at the major projects division as a civil engineer in the curator here side in the Maypen thing, extra work. We must not allow any Chinese invasion population of Jamaica.
Well, it's going to start.
No, we as Africa, we have no alternative. Let the record speak. The first set of Africans brought here by the Spanish, and they were brought from Spain, from the Iberian Peninsula, was in 1513. Indians were brought here from India by the British. Bring them to Wolaba Bay to near Goat Islands in 1845 on a ship known as the Maidstone. The Chinese were brought here by the British as indentured servants, just like the Indians, in 1854, in July 1854. We, the African majority, who the blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors have paid for Jamaica and the other islands in the Caribbean. We, their descendants, must not allow the Chinese to be allowed by using sellout politicians to populate Jamaica and make us some minority. We see the racism. I don't know you're supposed to see on social media that racist ad that they had about some Chinese girl and she put an African man, a pill in an African man mouth and put him in the washer, and when him come out Chinese. The Chinese have a history of racism as we know, just like in India.
But we have to look, as I said, take supermarket, we must look at Australia, you know.
Yes.
Who is the majority in Australia now? Is the invaders, you know? If you look at America, where them take away America from the Mexican,
the European invaders.
Okay. So it's them is the majority now in America, you know. And them call other people alien and I try build wall to keep all the people them and I feed them land. Mexico was once Texas and California, you know.
On other states too.
Yeah, so no Mexican can't come across no border. So you hear to them a murderer and thief and criminal. And the same people them want to say that them come invade the country and take away the land.
And this is why Marcus Garvey say that power is the only argument that satisfies man.
Man.
That a race without authority and power is a race without respect. And if we do not protect ourselves, we will either be exterminated or we will be enslaved. Africans in Jamaica and outside of Jamaica, we must make sure that no non-African presence in the form of Chinese, Indian, Arab, whatever, take over the island of Jamaica where we, the Africans, are the majority. This is our is a life and death issue. This is no joke business.
Yes.
And we must not allow any deceitful, sellout politicians, be the GLP, PNP, or whatever,
well, you
to
know,
make this go through.
you know, you say, I blew up the Daguan where them say they're going to build parliament up the Memorial Park, Georgia 6 Park, this or no, all right? And them are going to allow the Chinese.
Necessary.
No, we man. They're going to build a new parliament. They're going to make the whole of that area, they be like a government district.
Yes.
All the government buildings supposed to be in the area. And parliament.
And that one thing,
Yeah, all right. You know who them are asked to say, because them don't have the money for building, you know who them are going to ask to build the parliament?
Chinese.
Oh, gosh, man. You see the people them like that. And at this Prime Minister said that, you know, with him colleagues. Anyway, we have to move, Bridging.
Yes, he must say. So this is why I said PNP and GLP.
Yeah, man. That is
this
why.
Is why I said
that
PNP.
Is why I bring it
but
up.
I tell you something. You see, as you talk about the building there, you know that the African Union building in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia was built by the Chinese.
Yeah, we have to move.
The new one.
We have to move. Bridging.
Give thanks, African people.
Tracy, Ugan, Shanique, the operator, Vita, man who keep me alive in the night, especially when me done this thing, Vita from me hungry. You know, so we're out there tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, today, Thursday, from 2 to 5:45, and Friday, where they are watching still from IRFM, I go down James Avenue from 6 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock, and we are there. Yes, so we know the people are going to turn out. Last year was magnificent. We don't know if them can tap last year, but believe you me, we give thanks. We could take a call, yell.
Yo, Muta.
Blessed man, you're talking a box, man. What you talking about?
Huh?
You sound like you talk in some effect.
Nah, one, we don't care, brother.
Yeah, the effect that.
Yeah. A long time, I've been up on the line, I still have one, but you know.
Okay.
Yo, Muta, let me say this, man. Everybody ever say the Chinese them this and the Chinese them that and sell out and this and that. Why at first and or from the genesis of the whole thing, black people, Jamaican people never start to build road and do all of them things. Why are the Chinese people them come now? Whichever way them want get it.
No, but you see, you sound like you don't understand what's going on.
What do you mean by me not understand what's going on?
Yeah, you don't understand what's going on.
We understand, sir.
The government make a deal with the Chinese them so for build the idea. And them never go to Jamaican architects and engineers to build the highway. Just like how them say them go build parliament. The Chinese, you know, it's government and go to the Chinese.
Yeah,
some
man.
people want to vote for.
Yeah, man, representative democracy. Right?
No, them represent the government of Jamaica.
Yeah, man, representative democracy.
Yeah, so on a vote for them, put them in there for represent, you know. And then now, them just, some bossy slave, them just do what them a do. You can't tell the people them why the people them never build it. The government is the one them who no put them for represent, you know.
But Muta, listen this now, you know.
Nobody now cost the Chinese, you know. We are cost the people them who sell out the country to the Chinese, and that we are talking about. We're not talking about the Chinese specifically.
But me have a problem with it too, you know. But you know why me I say keep quiet too. And the Jamaican people them have in mind what them are saying, you know, because guess what?
Wow.
How much time the government give some black people, some people who claim that they might dishes on that, some contract and 2 years, say the money can't do, the project stall, and this can't go through, and then something. The same Jamaican them, you know why? Because we are non-progressive.
Who non-progressive? Black people in Jamaica non-progressive?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? May I ask you that?
Then that may I tell you. Say, what do you mean? Everybody knows from by one big car and party and...
So you're a non-progressive Jamaican. You're a non-progressive Jamaican too.
You're not non-progressive.
May I ask you?
We need to start produce.
May I
We need
ask you a
research
question?
and do it thing them and stop rob and thief everybody.
So you're a thief too?
What here, man?
Then you say Jamaican, wait, you say Jamaican non-productive. He's a Jamaican?
Alright, what am I
No,
going to
may I
say?
ask if he's a Jamaican? He's a
Hold
Jamaican.
on, man. Hold on, man. Make I say this to you.
Hold on. You may ask if he's a Jamaican.
Yeah, man.
Then you just say Jamaican non-productive and thief. That means you include yourself in it too.
Then the whole of we know in it, we know say.
That means you're a thief. That means you are a thief too.
We know say the whole of we there, and none of we can't make we whole road now nothing for ourselves, brother. As soon as a man award a contract, the project stall, he can't go nowhere.
So you must stop thief the
anything
money.
government own.
So you must
it
stop
no
thief
go
the
nowhere. 2 years say it can't maintain.
So you must stop thief the money.
Look when the investor them come. Look when the investor them
Stop
come here.
thief the money then. You must stop thief the money.
You too.
Oh, me?
Everybody.
Me?
What you mean?
Me I stop.
What you mean?
No, I use a Jamaican, you know. I use a Jamaican
Yeah,
thief, you know.
then-
Me not- But me
then
not
you
include myself in
have
it.
respect.
No, me
Yeah,
not
but-
include myself in that, you know. You just include yourself in it. Me not include myself in it.
Then you know, she say, nothing can go good. We're owned by the state. You know, see that?
The state
You know,
is
she
supposed-
say,
but the
it
state-
not be something for
No, but the
progress.
state must not
Yeah,
own
the-
it. The state must own it. The state must own it. That is the problem with it, that the state are trying to own things. The
No,
state
but
must
when
own
time,
it.
yeah, but when time the state own anything, you realize, say, tomorrow, you say this
Yeah,
is about
but
money.
me a- but
It
me
can't go
agree-
good.
but me
Man, I
agree
collect
with you.
money and you know, man, they on payroll and you know, work. I'm
But-
back at 6
but me
one.
agree with you, the state must own it. And that, me agree with you there, so you know. But you see, you tell me to know you thief money and all them something. Me I tell you, must stop thief the money that the thing can go right. Where you laugh at? Where you laugh at?
But, yeah, man, but Muta.
Yeah.
It better them, because the man mean business yesterday, alright. The project all
Watch
somewhere, you know.
a short term, you look on long term, man. A long term, you look on it, you know. Because you see, everybody set a plan, you know, for long term. That's why they say, all right, you're going to take 50 years to pay for the highway, and you're going to take how much years. And when I say, look on a long term thing, you know, when you are dead and gone, you know, and you're picking there, you know, and you pick, you know, you have no space, no beach for go upon, because foreigner take away the beach. The land come back again to be squatting. Because,
What cause that?
Because you sell out the place. You sell out it.
No, but what
You
me I
sell
say?
it out. You sell it out.
No, but if you can't manage it, why best thing to do? Give it up to somebody who can manage it.
No, but you see, you have Jamaican people can manage business. But the government is still in a mindset where them feel, say, all right, instead of you deal with local people, you give contract to local. If you give contract to local people, the same government or the same people them who get the contract and come around and want 10% out of it and all these things. That means the thing don't work.
Problem.
Yeah, but that's why we actually now say, Uno have a set of people that's how we are running a life for Uno. Where it's joke business. Joke business,
No,
government is
but
supposed to own a
the
company.
people them free to. Because guess
Look
what?
at nobody don't say you can't give the Chinese a road for building, you know. But at what cost to the Jamaican people? What cost to the Jamaican people like them land?
But over you know, say the man them no work out the pros and the everything I realize.
Oh,
that.
the government?
And the only best way that.
No, man. What? The government? This government are the only best. Let me know just hear me until you say, assisted them on the radio for years. I show them what happened in Africa and what they must make happen in Jamaica. I'll show you now listen to her, you know.
Yeah, man, me listen like me that listen, man.
No, you
Me
ever
that
listen
listen
to her?
to Shafi.
No, but she never talk on the radio. You listen to her on Sunday?
But the thing about it.
Wait, no, man. Because if you listen to her on Sunday, you talk about little you hear about her. I know a while ago she talk.
No, but me hear she that finds it out.
When you hear she find it out?
Me hear some people by a program and me hear.
Yeah, you know, you see, a joke, man. A joke.
Nah, man, nobody not joke, brother.
A joke, man. When me did have her on the program a while ago about China.
No.
What did this man, man?
Well, you see when they come on for the program since
No, wait there. You never hear. Sure, me can't everybody argue with you. Them over there 5 minutes or 2 now. We're gone, you know. We have to move. Because me don't know where you say. Yes, Irie. Me ask him about Cabo and China and say him hear shit talk on the radio. You hear Cabo talk on the radio a while ago. Anyway, government is supposed to own nothing in Jamaica, man. Nothing. The government is supposed to own nothing. Them supposed to divest everything. everything them touch go wrong. I don't simple that. Everything them touch go wrong. So that's one thing I agree with him about. But if you tell me about saying, appear thief and all them something there in Jamaica, joke business. Joke business. You know, you may get the last call. Talk quick.
Blessed.
Yes.
Alright, I have a thing when I really...
no, you have to talk quick, Brethren. Trust me.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I really topic still me calling to the date one. So it's a matter me calling one.
A matter?
Yeah.
Well, you have to call me later on for that matter. Because it come like matter in a year, you know, you can't talk long. Trust me.
Yeah, I know.
Alright? You can't talk it in a 1 minute?
Alright, it's about a jungle justice mob killing.
Eh?
And it's a case about a jungle justice mob killing.
A jungle justice mob killing?
Yeah.
What? You involved in a jungle justice mob killing?
No, my brother.
Somebody kill your brother?
No, my brother, they are prison for that.
Oh, your brother, they are prison for jungle justice?
Yeah.
Well, that may I say no, call back later and we can talk about it, yeah? Alright, bless him. Hey, we're going till later, you know. Believe you me, we're going till later. We see the man come film program, I know. Alright, that's what I'm going to say.